how to heal, and now I don't feel broken anymore. Numbed all the pain, show me how to heal, and now I don't feel broken anymore. A lot has changed since we last spoke. Life's been good to you, and I see that you're with someone new. Maybe you are better off now that you're with him. But when I see your face, I can't stop myself from spiraling. Now I'm falling, I'm falling, I'm falling, I'm falling down. 'Cause I can focus when you are around. But I will try my best to carry on without you like you've done. Though I'm lost and out of breath, I will carry on without you like you've done. But I'm not over you. I'm not over, not over you. I'm not over you. Yeah, my heart belongs to you. I'm not over. I'm trying to see it your way, to figure out why you left. I know that I have done some things I do regret, and I don't blame you for leaving. I might have done the same, but it doesn't make it easier anyway. Now I'm falling, I'm falling, I'm falling, I'm falling down. 'Cause I can get myself to focus when you are around. But I will try my best to carry on.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome in. I am still just getting the stream situated. Looks like everything's pretty healthy. Still dual, multi-streaming this, trying to make sure it works correctly. So sometimes it takes me a minute. Trying to keep this all fun and organized for everybody. I hope everyone's having a good day. I am also charging my phone. I have to drop shorts on my phone over to YouTube. It's kind of a weird little thing. I think it's just the way the platform has it set up, because you can't really choose what your thumbnail still image is going to be when you're uploading YouTube videos on your computer on Chrome or whatever. So really need to keep make sure you're uploading on shorts. You do need to get on desktop 20 minutes after you upload a video and just update things like language and things like that. That helps you be seen a little bit more. But yeah, I was using my phone pretty heavily because I dropped 3 shorts over on YouTube today, and I was plugging my phone in and out pretty much all day, trying to keep myself powered up and all that fun stuff. We're having internet issues again. Luckily, it happened 30 minutes before I was going to go online, so really beneficial there to not have to jump around and play with any weird funky games, but trying to get my phone charged up. It's almost the end of the month, which means that we're gonna have I'm gonna have my AI credits through Adobe reset for the month, and I still have 150 left for the month. I have used a few, which is better than I would normally do. These just come with my subscription that I use to edit videos and things like that for you guys. So I figure since tomorrow is the last day, my credits expire after tomorrow. These are use them or lose them kind of a situation. And I usually end up leaving like 180 credits on the table because I'll use like 1 credit, 2 credits here and there to do things like remove a background on a photo or something like that I'm adding to my content or something. But Adobe Firefly, which is Adobe's essentially AI photo creator thing, it actually requires like 20 credits per photo. So I need to create some images that kind of reflect the vision of what I want to do with my streaming business. And I figure now might be a cool way to do that. So maybe here in a little bit after we get a few people in, we can say hi to some folks and visit. Maybe we can do some of that and I can show you guys how that works. Maybe you guys can give me some suggestions too, even on what locations we should try creating an image for. Obviously, I have an example of what we're trying to create. But I figured that could be something fun and different that we have not really done together, I think, to this point. Another cool, awesome thing that happened. So I signed up for this like the other day. I did have to sign up for this, but they gave the Marvel Rivals climbers. Excuse me. They gave the Marvel Rivals climbers an opportunity to apply for the mid-season finals exclusive drops. So the way it works is on Twitch, if you play Marvel Rivals and you're watching one of my streams, you've probably seen this. Everyone gets these drops. It's a new character every season. This season it's Captain America. So as long as you're playing, streaming Marvel Rivals on Twitch, just make sure you set the game correctly that you're playing. Your viewers will be able to earn this drop just by watching you play. So it's available to anybody that wants. Like, you could just literally turn on your computer one day and I'd be like, I'm going to start streaming my Marvel Rivals games, and you can give this to anyone that's willing to come and support you. It's a great way to incentivize people to tune into streams. There's always other drops that are available. These are drops that are usually made available like only on Marvel Rivals page or made only available to the partners. So what's happening is here in LA, they're having the mid-season finals in town. So it's essentially just kind of the halfway point of the competitive season, and all of the major esports teams that have qualified are here playing on land against one another, streaming the whole thing, building up hype, all that kind of fun stuff. Normally you would only be able to get these drops on the Marvel Rivals page or on the Rivals, I think it's the Rivals Ignite page, or on a partner page, but they made it available to us, so I filled out an application and I am approved for these drops as well, which is really huge because it's only really, again, the main Marvel Rivals Twitch channel and the Marvel Rivals partners that get these. And now as an extension of that, because I'm a part of the Climbers program, I get to offer these to everybody. So in addition to the Captain America drops that people can earn by watching me for 4 hours, they can also earn all of these additional rewards. They are on a little bit of a schedule, so probably people won't start wanting to tune in or anything like that until probably, I would imagine, closer to the end of the beginning of the weekend. This is just because it's not like all accumulative. If you watch me for like a whole bunch of hours today, for example, you'll have earned the top row of rewards, but they don't finish unlocking all the rewards until you get to August 1st. But yeah, if you watch me for 8 hours, you can get a Daredevil skin as part of the Ignite theme, whatever. You can also get chrono tokens from watching me. And this is huge. Chrono tokens are used to complete the in-game battle pass, so it's like a form of in-game currency. So that can really entice people and make me want to give a new creator like myself an opportunity. But I took some time just to drop a quick little short on that today, in addition to my other content that I was dropping, just to let people know that this is available, and I'll obviously have this on my stream when I'm streaming. But really, really cool to be able to offer this to people. Like I said, after the Ignite series is all done, the only people that are going to be offering these rewards are going to be partners, and then the handful of us that filled out the application. So it's not like there's like thousands and thousands of Twitch channels out there where you can earn these rewards. So it's usually just maybe a few hundred to maybe 1,000. So part of a special group that'll have some cool rewards to be able to incentivize people to come hang out maybe and check out a stream or two. And these are available while I'm playing the game. That is, they're not enabled right now, but they will be. They will be on my next stream later on this evening. But that was a pretty cool thing. So I did want to like make sure. So like I took some time to like log in and just like check on making sure that the account and stuff was set up. And then I earn the drops just by streaming. Like it counts that as a view. So once I started seeing the notifications rolling in that I was earning these rewards, I got like super pumped, and I dropped a short on that so that yeah, folks can just maybe hopefully people come across my shorts or whatever and they get an idea of you know, there's a little incentive to maybe popping over here and checking out a stream or something. So really pumped. I'll try to obviously stream as much as humanly possible throughout the next month too, just to give other people the opportunity to earn these rewards. And yeah, I made some content. I took a nap in the middle of the day. I got like 6 hours of sleep last night, which compared to like falling asleep for 20 minutes and waking up outside on the park bench, like, and yeah, I think 6 hours is pretty good. But you know, I took a little nap today, forced myself down for a nap in the middle of the afternoon after I got a video out, and then yeah, just yeah, I made a few more videos. Went to stretch out my legs to go grab a little bite to eat. Yeah, pretty fun day. Starting to get a little FOMO heading into the weekend with the new Spider-Man movie coming out. It's weird. There's been so many movies that have come out in the time that I've been out here, including MCU movies. Last year we had Fantastic Four First Steps came out last year. I didn't get any FOMO from that. Was that the only MCU movie that came out in 2025? Saw Ant-Man Quantumania. That was before I ended up in this spot. I saw the final Guardians of the Galaxy, Wakanda Forever. That can't be. We couldn't have only gotten one MCU film last year. That can't be right. I mean, maybe. But I didn't have any FOMO from that film. I think part of it too was I'm not like super in love with that cast. Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm, like that's fine. But I'm a little irked that John Krasinski was passed up for the role of Mr. Fantastic in favor of Pedro Pascal. Like, and it's nothing against Pedro. I think he's an awesome actor. I just like John Krasinski was so interested in playing the role. He read all the comics for Mr. Fantastic and did all these things. He even appeared as Mr. Fantastic in the second Doctor Strange movie. And he was passed up for the role. So like that kind of like pushed me out. But anywho, getting back to the present, we have Spider-Man Brand New Day coming out on Friday and getting a little FOMO from that. I'm gonna know, like I already know who Sadie Sink plays, and I'm annoyed that that was spoiled for me. But it's just like, it's going to be hard to avoid all the spoilers playing Marvel Rivals and being a part of this community, because everyone in that community is going to go see that film beginning on Friday. And I mean, Tom Holland's a great Spider-Man, so it's not like we have anything to complain about. The last couple of Spider-Man movies were a lot of fun too. The last one was the one where we got Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and Tom Holland all in the film together. It was pretty great. I have to admit, that was like, that's going to go down. In 20 years, people are still going to be talking about how funny those scenes were and how well they were constructed. But with the Marvel Cinematic Universe kicking back into high gear, it'll be fun to kind of chit-chat with other people about these things a little more regularly. Get back to just like normal hobby interests and things like that. I'm really looking forward to that. But yeah, we got some new MCU skins even coming to the Marvel store. they're going to introduce a Spider-Man section to the Marvel Rivals store. So basically you can just go in and look at all the Spider-Man skins that they've released in the game, which is crazy because the people that play Spider-Man, like, they're a different breed. Let's just put it that way. But yeah, we got Spider-Man coming out this weekend. And we had the Odyssey. Christopher Nolan's Odyssey came out. Like, I eventually want to see that movie. But, like, I don't know, like, anyone that's taken honors English in high school has read Homer's poem. So, like, we know how that story ends. So I don't really feel like a need or a rush to go see it, though I respectfully understand, you know, Christopher Nolan's an incredible filmmaker. So, like, I'm sure he'll do some very interesting things with that project that have captivated some people. But it's kind of crazy when you stop and think about it, because Tom Holland, Zendaya, and John Berthel are all in the Odyssey, and they're all in Spider-Man Brand New Day, and these movies are coming out 2 weeks apart. Stop and think about what their summer's been like, because they filmed these movies, but now filming for any new projects takes a complete, like, height. Like, no, we're not filming anything, and you literally go on press tour for like 2+ months straight, just promoting your 2 projects. It's an insane, having lived that life with some of these people when I worked for Amazon Studios, it's an insane schedule that they're taking on. Anytime I turn on YouTube, Twitter, whatever, it's endless clips of Matt Damon, Anne Hathaway, Tom Holland, Zendaya. Like, it's just the same figures kind of popping across my feed, it seems like. But I'm hoping the film industry, the movie industry, is kind of heading back in the right direction a little bit. Maybe the ship's getting righted a little bit, because living down here in Southern California, this is an industry town. Like, people don't realize a lot of what happens in LA from just an economic standpoint, lifestyle standpoint, a lot of it kind of comes from in and around the industry. A lot of people either work directly in the industry or they support it, whether it be working in, like, for a small graphic studio that might take on some small work. People don't realize this. You have small processing companies that they're responsible for, like, adjusting size files and, like, doing all kinds of weird things that go beyond just creating the art or the CGI or even the filming or the editing that goes into all these projects. So since COVID, LA's really struggled. In addition to the fact that streaming has completely changed the way that consumers take in the content. The old model of box office, you know, revenue share between you and theaters, cranking out as much as you can at the box office and then moving to DVD and then Blu-ray sales, that kind of thing, that old model is gone. Used to even have syndication where you could put that movie or whatever on primetime, you know, 2 or 3 years down the road on, you know, TNT or USA Network, or even go to HBO, things like that, and you could get you can get additional revenue from syndication. You know, we still have, like, the Men in Black movies, Troy, Indiana Jones movies, Star Wars movies, all those movies show up on all these different networks all the time, and that's still generating more revenue for that IP from commercial advertising dollars. That model's gone. We're all cutting the cord. Most people have cut the cord. It's had a drastic impact, I think, on this economy out here locally. A lot of studios are leaving LA and choosing to do productions elsewhere, which is really weird because California has a lot of credits available to studios to help incentivize them to shoot here. But it is a little bit of a competition. Georgia's been really heavily involved. There's a lot of studios being built out in that area. New Mexico and Texas are big players now in the film industry. If you go up to Vancouver's becoming a pretty big hub, and sometimes people choose to, like, live or maybe do even offshoots and stuff like that in Seattle because it's really not that far away. You know, New York has always been a hub for film, and they at times will incentivize some more projects to come to their cities, you know, New York City, just by making some short-lived tax credits available. But here locally, it could really help the economy, maybe potentially help my individual position, given I have worked in the film industry before. A little bit of a boost if, you know, more work and jobs can become available. But since COVID, like people just they wait for it to become available on Netflix or Disney or whatever. I like to believe that as more people like do things like subscribe to Disney Plus and subscribe to like Paramount Plus and stuff like that, maybe that'll incentivize these studios to start greenlighting more and more projects. But as a person who lives down here and has worked in the industry, I can tell you it has been pretty tough for the last little while. So with a lot of these big blockbusters like the Odyssey, obviously Spider-Man's going to be a huge blockbuster, and then we have Avengers Doomsday coming out December 18th. And they just did a ton of media for that in San Diego for Comic-Con this past weekend. We got some fun stuff, I think, that's hopefully gives the film industry a boost. We had Devil's Wear Prada 2, which I guess it got a limited release in theaters, but it went straight to Disney Plus, and that was a little concerning. I would like to think with how popular that film was, the original film, I mean, I can't tell you how many times I spent time at school or even when I was going to college and people were still quoting that freaking movie. And Anne Hathaway, I think at the time that movie was filmed, I think she was still very much in her but hey, oh, what up, Aradorio? Twitch wasn't showing you my latest things. It's really interesting. So I am doing something different the last week and a half or so, Aradorio. I'm dual streaming on Twitch and YouTube. I'm wondering if possibly that could have an impact. I don't really post clips. It's not really by choice either. I want to do more clipping, Aradorio, on Twitch. Unfortunately, the way that clipping kind of works on Twitch is you kind of got to do it while you're streaming. Yeah, there's nothing, and it's not like, this is not on purpose. So I have a software called Eclipse. When I'm streaming like games or even streaming this, it auto clips into text for me. Unfortunately, if I post to Twitch any other way other than clipping directly from my stream and then editing within Twitch the video, it does not push it out the way that it would. Like anything else that I try to do to upload to Twitch, it doesn't do anything. So right now all my content is gaming content. I have to make this transition. I have to, unfortunately. Like, part of it is good because I'm really not a fan of, I think, the content I was making. I think for me it was just a little bit too personal, and I kind of felt obligated, I felt at times, to divulge things that I normally wouldn't ever want to divulge, and I felt like I just felt very, very compelled, and it has frequently put me in just a really uncomfortable position. Like I said, for every supportive person I meet, I'm meeting like 40 to 50 just completely asshat people. And I think like if I'm in a good place and life's cruising, all that kind of stuff, it's a lot easier. But under the circumstances, the longevity of this situation, and just how challenging it is looking and finding opportunities that allow me to get to a better place, like I've just gotten to a point where I don't really need that anymore in my life. It detracts more than it helps. I also don't adhere to the whole like it's just the internet thing. Like that's like if you were like hanging out with the same group of friends every Friday and there's one friend that's just an asshole, and then all your friends are like, oh, this is just how people are sometimes. Like, no, like I don't want this asshole come to dinner with us if he's gonna be an asshole every single Friday, you know? Like that's kind of the perspective I have on it. Yeah. And then the other thing that also made things really challenging is I shared where I was spending time at the Panera Bread in Long Beach, and there's only one Panera Bread in Long Beach. I've had 3 people directly seek me out in person at that Panera Bread. In addition, there's been 4 other people that I'm fairly certain have also come there to see me or check in on me and like have chickened out by not saying anything. I say that because who comes and sits next to the homeless person when there's like 20 other empty spaces, all with charging capabilities all over the place? Like, who comes and intentionally like sits next to the homeless person and scoots the table like an extra 6 inches closer to me? That's not normal. And I'm extremely, because of what I used to do for my career, I'm extremely hyper observant. So, yeah, and it's like one of those things, like, and you make content, I think as a normal creator, you know, you're creating content in your office at home or whatever it is. When you're doing stuff like that, like, you have the safety of your home, you can keep your location a little ambiguous, like, oh, I live in LA, or I live in Pasadena. Pasadena is a huge, massive town. You could be anywhere. And even Long Beach, I'm in Long Beach, but putting out there that I was at that Panera and then seeing people actually, like, it's a little, and no one's really, I think, to this point intended any harm, but it does make me significantly uncomfortable. I don't want to give it a label, but it kind of feels stalkerish, if that makes sense. I would say, like, if you wanted to come check in or say hi, or if that was something that you were interested in, I think you should, like, maybe ask, perhaps. Like, I'm gonna probably say no. But if I've been speaking to you for a really long time, and maybe I know you a little bit better, that's like a whole different thing. And like I said, everyone that has come by has been really nice. No one's meant any ill will. It's just a really uncomfortable position to be in. Like, I'm not spending as much time there Tuesday through, or Monday through Saturday. I'm not spending as much time there. I have to spend time there on Sundays. I don't have another place that I can go. But the other days of the week, I'm just there for a little bit and I leave now. And I don't want to do that. There's days where I just rather stay there because the vibe's good. I have a really good relationship with the staff. So we're all, like, pretty chill and we all get along. But, like, is someone gonna come roll up on me? Like, that is now in my head. And it makes me really, really uncomfortable. So, yeah, and that's all it is. You're exactly right, Eridorial. It's just about boundaries. And it's not about, like, not wanting to be friendly or getting to know people better or anything like that. It's just, like, I don't understand what about my situation would make... Yeah, it's a little odd. It's challenging for me. So you wouldn't do this to a normal creator. Because of all these things, I'm having to adapt a little bit. So I'm keeping the focus on the Marvel stuff. Like I said, it's a great game, and if I don't focus as much as I can on this, it's gonna kind of slip away from my fingers. I mean, yesterday was my first time streaming that game in 11 days. That's not good. It's really not good for my goals and my ambitious side. So I'm able to get some, like, content and stuff produced by gaming offline when I'm outside. I can game a little bit at Panera on my hotspot. It doesn't use a lot of data to just play the game. I mean, a gig of hotspot data will get me like 3.5 hours of playing the game. It just doesn't use a lot of data because what it really helps with is just it maintains a healthy connection to game online. So I can get some offline stuff, but streaming is also very important. They track the amount of hours that we stream as part of this program. So yeah, I'm just trying to commit as much more time to that as possible, and then I'm going to work on a weekly release. I have, like, a new script profile that I put together watching some other YouTube creators, and I'm going to try some new formatting and focus more on homeless education. As opposed to, like, my own individual story. I might share some experiences towards the end of the video before I do, like, a call to action kind of a thing. And I think that's going to be kind of like that structure, is to take that first 10 to 15 seconds to try to hook somebody into my content, go through the body of my content, which is going to include both my suggestions, the things that which come from, things I've experienced, as well as the things I witnessed. And then I'll include some interesting data points, I think, that support, obviously, but it's going to be basically a video. Think of, like, if you were writing a paper in college, it's going to be like that same format, but in video presentation. So on the closing side, I'll share maybe some personal experience before I try to get people to... The first video I'm going to do is why you should never just sit around and tell a homeless person to get a job. It's probably the number one most like troubling thing that I think that I hear on a routine basis from people. It's really challenging to hear that and to be around that. It's such like an unhelpful thing, and the reality is you need to have some stable housing before you can really hold down a job. And that's the aspect of things that I think a lot of people don't take the time to consider. But that's going to be my first video back. I'm just in the middle of the script right now, but oh, thanks, Rodori. I'm glad you've learned a few things. I know a lot of other people conveyed the same message to me. And I know that's something that a lot of people are disappointed isn't really there anymore, but I do gotta grow. And I mean, me streaming on my own, just the streaming aspect, people are gonna know things about my personal life. It's a part of getting into this. But yeah, I think just taking some more time, again, it's a little bit of a struggle, just as time goes on, it really takes kind of a toll on your mental health, and obviously my physical health since January has not been that great. So I think taking those things into consideration, this is probably better for me to take more time than just maybe shooting a video or two a day about my personal life. And I think hopefully over time maybe it'll produce some better interactions between me and some of the people that I meet online. There's really some great people that really want to help. They really want to make a positive difference, and I'd love to invite and welcome those people into the community, but I gotta do something. I have to change the type of content I'm putting out if I want to have a better experience online. And unfortunately, a part of that and a part of this experience is it's spending a lot more time outside. Unfortunately, I was all ready to head out this morning, laundried up. I took the time to shave this morning. That took a little bit of time. My electric razors are toast, so I'm doing it the old-fashioned way, and I let it grow just a little bit too long this last time. But I got all cleaned up, and I was gonna do just like a short hour-long Marvel Rivals stream, and somebody messaged me and asked if they could help, and so I was able to stay in for another night. I reserved the room for tomorrow too, but it's like an extra $5 more tomorrow. So like I'm gonna probably just wake up in the morning and kind of do the same thing, minus I don't have to shave or do laundry or do any of that. It's gonna be an easier morning, I think, tomorrow. We're spending a lot more time outside. That's not helpful, but at the same time, it's a part of this transition phase. If I can get to a better point, I can probably maintain 2 or 3 different YouTube channels, plus a Twitter handle, and then obviously try to... I'm going to need to find somebody that wants to help me with the Twitch stuff. I have tried so many different ways, but with both the time constraint as well as the lack of access to reliable internet at times, I'm going to... In order to make content and produce the things that I want to produce on Twitch, I gotta get with somebody and see if they can help me out while I'm streaming. If I can start to pull some of my mods into the stream on a more regular basis, that would be an incredible help to me. Because moderators can serve up, if they're willing to, they can do a little bit more for me than just mod. They can clip for me and set me up for some success. But yeah, without the ability to clip during the stream, it's been really hard to really produce anything on this end of things. But yeah, YouTube's kind of the go-to right now, and I'm streaming over there right now even too. Just trying to keep myself active everywhere I can. A lot of these people that when they start off streaming, they got like roommates, or they got like a really good friend or a wife or husband, or someone that can help them out. But that has been a huge hindrance on Twitch. It's been really tough. But yeah, I am gonna work on just a quick little project. I already know what I kind of want to do, so I am working on this little proposal right here. Let me show you guys. Don't quote this or like think that this is like God or anything, because this is a very early draft. But one of the cool things that I've been working on is I'm realizing that AI has obviously a lot of uses. We've talked about this a lot, but one of the things it allows us to do is create something that maybe hasn't happened yet. So instead of creating something and having it be fake, use it to create what your vision could be. So I've had this idea since 2023, year and a half, 2 years almost before I became homeless, of if I were to do streaming on my own away from the small business that I was doing streaming at, and I was to do my own thing, how would I want to do it? Like, how could I gain traction? How could I grow? How could and I gave all those things like a lot of thought. And one of the coolest ideas that I had was I could stream on location at places, travel to a cool location, for example, and stream games in that kind of a setting. So here is an example of what I mean. A lot of gamer streamers or regular streamers, like just in real life, just chatting streamers, whatever you want to call them, a lot of them just turn on their webcam and they'll turn on their microphone and sit here, read the chat, and hang out with everybody. And that's really cool. It's really fun. I think that's obviously an aspect of this that I enjoy. I really do genuinely enjoy it. But the one thing it doesn't do is like necessarily, it's you in a room hanging out with a bunch of other people that are likely hanging out in their rooms. So how can I create something that's like a different experience, make things more fun? And I've always thought, given that I used to work in special events all the time, I always thought it'd be cool to make my streams a little bit more of an event and a little bit more engaging in that way. So think in real life, but think the combination of in real life streaming with like gaming streaming or things like that. So an aspect of this that I thought up of is, what if we were to take all of my stuff and I were to stream from the beach? Okay, I think we're good. Nope, not yet. All right, I think we're back. I still can't get a confirmation on if my bit rate's healthy, but there we go, 2,500 kilobits a second. Okay, that's what I want to be seeing. Okay, good deal, good deal. Thanks for hanging with me, Oriel, and everyone else. So part of what I wanted to, I'm going to recap this in case you guys missed any of the conversation. So part of my vision was to have like a streaming situation where I could like take things on site and stuff like that. So like I said, showing you guys the image that I was showing you guys, I could take all my streaming setup and do a stream from the beach. That could be something that could be cool. This is, when I made that photo and I kind of visually saw it, I was like, you know what, maybe that isn't exactly what I want to be doing. But I've had ideas of like, what if I traveled to Paris, got a room with the balcony that faces the Eiffel Tower, set up my stream with the camera, figure out, lighting's gonna be a huge challenge with this endeavor. I don't have any lights right now, so like trying to figure out how to do lighting correctly is, natural light is, especially direct sunlight light, is really, really, really hard with cameras. Doesn't matter the camera. It is really challenging to try to capture the right angles and all that kind of thing. But yeah, exactly, Eritorial. So keep taking the nerds outside. So I did this idea. This is AI generated. This is not a real photo. Okay. So I did this idea and I realized this wasn't exactly what I was kind of thinking. But, you know, again, maybe going to Paris and streaming with the Eiffel Tower in the background from a hotel balcony, maybe going to London and doing something. I know of a couple of hotels that I've stayed at where there is a view of, like, you know, the London Bridge. You know, there's cool sites and stuff like that all over the world. And even here in LA, we have a lot of landmarks here in LA where locally I could do some cool streams out and about. And one of the places I've thought about doing that at is up at the Griffith Observatory. So this is kind of a little bit more of like where my vision lies. And all I would really need to be able to execute this is like, obviously, like having like a table and a chair. That's kind of easy to, if I don't get it myself, I can rent it. Renting a generator's about $30 for, not including fuel, it's, you know, about $30 for 4 or 5 hour rental. And then that could, that powers the Starlink satellite that I've had with me for a long, long time now. You know, this has been, someone got this for me when I got back from TwitchCon and we started doing the whole van life thing. And I've kept this thing safe the whole time. It's still in the box. I haven't opened it. I protected it with my life. I know that we are going to be using this, so I have not let anything happen to it. Literally guarding this thing with my life at times. But I'm trying to use AI to my benefit to try to create some of these images. And what I'm doing with these images is they're not just like photos just to have photos. I'm taking these images and I am rolling them into a proposal that I'm putting together. Again, before I show this, please do not take this as Bible. I would say this is an early V2, V3 draft. Everything about this is going to change. It's going to be more professional. I got to do some more work on the margins and editing and stuff. So please, 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 please don't be like screenshotting this and thinking this is like a final thing. But I'm building this presentation up. This is just a one-pager. This is something simple that you can share and send with companies that kind of goes over how you might go about doing this. But what's cool about this is I can kind of do all of this just from Adobe. I get X amount of credits to use on generative AI every single month. I have 150 credits left for this particular month. I usually end up using this to like remove photo backgrounds, things like that from these images that I use to make like my thumbnails or even editing some of my videos. Those are all things that I will use a lot of those credits for, but I usually end up with a bunch left over, like 180 or more, because those types of things only use just like a handful of credits in order to produce. But what I have, and I was going to show you guys this demonstration this evening on kind of what I'm working on. Description, I also have access to Adobe. So I thought it'd be fun to make an image together. So we're going to open up the image generator. And this can be an educational experience for anyone that has not had the opportunity yet to do anything with AI on your own. This is one of the ways that we go about doing this. So the first thing that I'm going to do is, and I'm actually going to hide my screen for this part. I need to go into my photo album to do this, is we're going to add some reference images. I will show you the reference images before we process anything. I need to scroll through my photo album privately because I don't have anything like weird or sketchy or anything, but there's just a bunch of random, weird, funny, goofy shit. So, man, when did I make those AI photos? Oh, there it is. There it is. So there's one. And let me get one more photo that I've been using. I'm only using 2 reference photos to make these, which is the crazy part. Really, really crazy. Portrait. All right, guys. So these are my reference images. Okay. So I am using the existing AI photo of the Getty of me streaming at the Griffith Observatory. This is again a previously, edited or whatever AI photo, and then I'm also using one of my portrait photos from my time at New York Life. So at this point, it's about a 2-year-old photo. If I wanted to, I could put in like one of the TwitchCon photos. I took a couple of good headshot photos, selfie photos when I was at TwitchCon. So all you have to do to make photos, this is so scary. Hang on. Are we good? Okay, we're good. It was glitching out there for a second. Back. And then you just have to give it a prompt, like you would on ChatGPT or anything like that. So, create a photo with the male in the reference photos streaming video games from a Paris hotel balcony with the Eiffel. How do you spell Eiffel Tower? Is it 2 F's? It is 2 F's. It is. With the Eiffel Tower in the background. The person in the reference photo should be in a black t-shirt with a gaming headset. So that is my prompt. Again, I have 150 credits available, so we can do this. I'm planning on doing this like 3 or 4 times during the stream, with one potentially being a mistake. I do make mistakes, but let's see what it gives us. This is terrifying. How quick it is to make a fucking fake photo. Like, and obviously, like, this isn't fake. This is for me to use to present to other people what my vision is. But the fact that I can just type in a couple of sentences and throw in a couple of photos and it's gonna give me something. Look at that. That came from 2 sentences and 2 reference photos. Like, you cannot tell me that that is not slightly scary. You know how much work you would have had to go into to create something like this for like your business plan 7, 8, 9 years ago? Like, you would have had to hire somebody to make like an animated version of this. Yeah, this isn't bad. I mean, I'll download this right now. Download. Boom. Like, you can do a few edits. You can upscale it. Hang on, I'm gonna download it a couple of times. There we go. I wanted the Flash version too. Like, guys, that's creepy. Yes, so this is using what's called Adobe Firefly. So this is, I don't have like premium Adobe or anything. I can't afford that. But you know, just using some of the small help that I get here and there, $10 a month to use, and I use this every single day. But I specifically use Adobe Express. This is specifically Adobe Firefly. So this is a very specific tool that you use within the Adobe suite to make things and photos like that. So you've been using Google Gemini, yeah. This is terrifying. It's incredibly accurate. Like, my God, what is the matter with this world? Like, we did this in 40 seconds, you guys. So here's my question, because we're going to do this at least one more time before we hop off here. Does somebody else have another suggestion of another location that we could throw into a prompt and we could create right now? Keeping in mind, I specifically want to use this for visualizing, you know. So I just did Paris because it's been on my mind for a really long time. But does anyone else have, Eridorial, do you have a suggestion of a location that we could make this with? Yosemite? Let's try this. Create a photo with the mailbox. We'll go the Yosemite. That's not how you spell Yosemite. Michael, how do you spell Yosemite? I used to live like right next to Yosemite. That is how you spell Yosemite. Why is it telling me it's wrong? Oh, maybe because it's not capitalized? Oh, yeah. Good job, Michael. Good job, kid. Valley with Half Dome in the background. Let's go hooded sweatshirt. You got to be really specific. Okay, let's try this out. Let's see what this gives us, Eridorial. Okay, so the photo of me, not maybe as good. Not maybe as accurate as this photo. That definitely looks more like me. This one came out a little bit funky, and that's just kind of weird. But it basically put us on top of El Capitan. Looking over down at Half Dome. I mean, we're still going to download this because I just spent 20 credits creating it. But yeah, it works the exact same way. So a little bit creepy. Like this is a little creepy. I mean, we did this in just a few minutes, but I have 110 credits left after that. They do expire at the end of tomorrow. I'm going to come up with maybe just like 3 or 4 more locations and destinations tomorrow while I'm working or whatever. But I'm going to make a few more of those. I did download that Half Dome one, so maybe I'll use it. Can it turn into a short video? What do you mean, can it turn into a short video? Like, could I make a short AI video using this? maybe. I would never do that. I made a promise to myself that I would never make an AI video. I might use an AI image or an AI thing within my video, but I promised myself that I would never, ever, ever, ever make an AI video. And I'm going to stand by that to myself. So I haven't tried. I know that for a lot of people it's something that interests them, but I haven't tried with Firefly, but I can guarantee you Adobe does have a tool inside of the Adobe suite to make videos. If it is not Firefly, it could be something else. For her book ads, yeah, and I would never do something like that, Aerodorial. I would never do something like that. I would never build a formal proposal in, like, that to me is very, she writes romantasy books. That's pretty cool. Yeah, for me, like, this is, like, even within my proposal, going back to my proposal that I'm making, I clearly state in my proposals the images that I'm using that are in my proposal. I clearly state that it's AI generated. I do not want anybody being misconstrued about what I'm like putting together and what I'm building here. It's very important to me that I'm very honest about that. It's just a lot of people doing, I think, a lot of disingenuous things on the internet with AI. And like, if you're just like goofing off and making fantasy videos, or like that's totally cool. But yeah, I guarantee you, Aerodorial, Adobe probably has a tool with what you're looking for. For me, like I said, I'm just sharing with you why I haven't looked into it, is because it's not something that interests me for my work. But I guarantee you there's probably, if it's not obviously Adobe, you can go use other tools. I already know of like 3 or 4 out there. I just can't think of their names off the top of my head. But yeah, there's a number of tools out there that you could be using to make things like this. But for my purposes, I got, about 110 credits left before they expire tomorrow night. So, maybe even tonight after I'm done streaming the game here in a little bit, maybe I'll jump on and use the rest. It kind of feels weird. I'm always leaving credits on the table. And this is something you're going to start seeing and hearing a lot of people talk about. Here, let me minimize this screen a little bit so you can see exactly what I'm talking about here, guys. What I'm talking about with AI credits is this right here, because I know that the chat on this stream kind of blocks it out. It's this right here. So you can buy more of these credits, but this is going to become a bigger and bigger theme within the AI conversation. So on Sunday, I will get another new 250 credits that will last me a month. But I only get 250 a month. I primarily use them in I have Adobe Express. So this is primarily where I use them. If you want to create like an AI something here, you can totally do that. Let me see what it gives me the option to do. Quick actions, generate AI. So you can use any of this stuff here to generate some images and things. Territorial, like you were just talking about. And these will cost a lot less. I think doing things like removing a background from a photo on any of my images costs me like 1 or 2 credits a piece. So across the platform, it's all the same. And again, these are some of the tools that I have access to with my premium. But talking about Firefly and things like that, get credits. This is how these companies are going to make an insane amount of money, is because it's not free. So I pay for this and I get Firefly, just the basic version of it, just by being an Express premium member, and I pay a promo rate for $10 a month. But if you want more, you can buy more. It's so concerning how they go about doing it. Maybe it's on Express that I have to take a look at it. But yeah, you're going to start seeing more and more conversations about it where it's like a business owner or maybe a college student that's using it, like, oh, I don't have any credits left this month, or I got to wait till next month, or whatever it may be. And like, that's all fair and cool and stuff, but what the problem is that it's going to cost such an exorbitant amount of money to use these tools, because you need more and more credits. And as time goes on and more people become proficient with using this tool, they're going to make it cost, like right now it's 20 credits a month for me, or per photo I want to generate, it's 20 credits. I guarantee you by this time next year it's going to be 30 or 40 credits to do exactly what I just did. And that's just going to drive more traffic to go into the software and basically re-up and purchase additional credits. It's that part of this is very concerning to me. This is how they are going to make money. It's going to be a cash cow for the people that are involved in this industry, and the people that are going to be hurting, the people that are going to be struggling, it's going to be the people that didn't get in early, or are trying to play catch up with the education system, or maybe are, better yet, unaware of the credit usage and the economics beyond that. I would be much more happier as a consumer and as an entrepreneur myself. I'd be happier if they would simply just say like, hey, this costs 50 cents to do. When I go to like FedEx or Kinko's or Office Max to print something, they charge you to print per page. I find it devious that every single business in our economy has to have their own like currency system or point system or credit system, and I don't think this helps us. So this is going to become a problem. You're going to start hearing, I think, in about 4 or 5 years, people going into massive amounts of debt trying to get projects off the ground, and they were trying to do that said project using generative AI. But yeah, it's a little bit about what I'm working on. I'll kind of crank out a little bit more over the course of the next couple of days using these tools. Try to think of maybe another destination or 3 that I can build some proposals off of and kind of add to the imagery that I have. We got Half Dome now, and we got the Paris one is actually really realistic to do, like getting out there and things like that. I don't know how easy it would be to. You'd have to literally take a helicopter up to the top of El Capitan to get that shot that AI gave us. But like, yeah, you can think of cool things streaming from the Redwood Forest. That could be cool. You know, I've been to Sydney. Literally across from the Sydney Opera House is just like a bunch of like neighborhoods and shit. Like people just live over there. You could probably just find like an Airbnb that has a good view of the Sydney Opera House and just set up a stream there for a few nights. That used to be an area that I used to work in. New York has a lot of cool and interesting landmarks that you could set up at. Do some networking while you're in that town too. Try to push yourself a little bit further up. San Francisco has some tremendous landmarks that you could try to get in the background. Yeah, campsites, again, that's not going to generate like a crazy amount of traffic to the page though. It's just going to be you in the dark woods. There isn't much to see. Like, you have to think from the perspective of what is the viewer going to be seeing and witnessing when you're building this vision. So like, I wouldn't say like being at a campsite, I wouldn't say that's much different from what you guys get to see on my streams now with me with like a motel bed sheet in the background. So I don't really know if that's going to help like grasp anyone's attention. But like certainly you could do something like that. you'd have to have a campsite that doesn't have any obstructions from trees. Um, yeah, exactly, Aradoria. You're framing a scene in the background, and it's generating conversation in the chat about, what else are you going to do while you're in town? Have you been to go see that landmark that you might be featuring in your background? Like, all those types of things. But yeah, the challenge with the campground one is you would have to find a campground that doesn't have any trees obstructing you for the Starlink to work properly and enable you to be able to play online video games. You have to have a clear line of sight to the satellites above. So that's why, like, either being in a hotel that already has internet, or maybe being in a place like the Griffith Observatory where, like, you could set up on the plaza. Um, there's no obstructions in that area. That's why I thought about some of these areas. So that's something to keep in mind. Again, lighting is really, really challenging. Talking about maybe doing a stream from the beach in the sun, that's like not even possible to pull off right now. There's so many complications with lighting. But a lot of this would become a lot easier to accomplish, I think, as time goes on, the more mobile I get. If if the car thing had worked out, we could have just thrown all these things in the trunk, driven to a location, and set up. You do have to get permits depending on where you want to do this at. So, like, let's say we were going to do something at like Venice Beach, you definitely want to reach out to LA County and get a permit from the city that says that you're allowed to be there, so that inevitably when LAPD does their rounds and kicks out people because they think they're an obstruction, you can at least be like, no, I'm allowed to be here. I've thought about doing like a park that I sleep at, but then I run the risk of people finding out where I sleep, and that's a whole other big issue that I've struggled with in the past as well. But yeah, it's just basically I'm just taking all of my work experience that I gained working in the NBA, working in the film industry, and all those things, and I'm trying to put it to use here. I understand that a lot of the way that people grow is they do a lot of just like clickbaity kind of things, and that's just not what I'm about. It's not who I am as a person. I feel like the experience I'm going through is already super extreme, so like why would I need to go to more extremes to try to move the needle for myself? I want to be as true and authentic as humanly possible, and these are cool things, but they are genuinely authentic. To travel to a location or to drive to a location and set up your things, that's just you being like, yo, like I'm willing to go a little bit extra, get on my hands and knees to set up all my equipment and all that stuff, and tear it down again and pack it away, because I want to give, my community, my viewers, and the people that I spend time with, a unique and interesting experience. I think, and then through that, we do the streams in the evening. It's like, oh, I'm going to be at this hotel in Paris for a couple of nights, so we'll do a couple of evening streams where we chat for an hour or two, maybe play some games for an hour or two. And then during the day, we could look at pursuing some in real life stuff. I'm so far away from being able to do in real life stuff. To properly do that, you need a streamer backpack, and those things are, if you want to buy them, they're $30,000. You're buying a car, basically. They're a massive, massive investment. You can rent them, and if I grow enough and I get to a place where it's like, oh, hey, this is a good investment to go and shoot or film or, do this type of production, and I'm going to see an ROI either through streaming on YouTube or on Twitch, hey, we'll rent a streamer pack for $1,500 for a day or whatever it's going to cost. But I'm so far away, and now that I understand the implications of what I need to actually be able to execute more in real life streams, I think sticking to something that I can do is, I think, it's a smarter play for me, I think, at this stage. So, but yeah, I'll be working on that a little bit, just trying to get my proposals up and share a little bit more with maybe some corporations and businesses that might be in a better position to help me grow, help me get to where I want to go. Yeah. Any other questions, Aradorial, or anyone else here? No, it was a quiet night. But yeah, looking forward to finishing this document that I'm building, and I'm gonna do a couple of intro videos introducing myself to some potential sponsors, and I was doing that a lot before Roxy passed away, and I'm just trying to get back to it now. So. Oh, that's good, Aerodorial. It means I'm able to fool all of you guys. That's good. I don't know if you've heard the rule, Aerodorial, but I've asked the people that spend time here not to comment on my mood. I'm never in good spirits. Honest truth, not being rude. Honest truth. But yeah, I'm gonna work on that project hopefully over the next few days, and yeah, hopefully that yields, I think, a positive result. Yeah, just trying to be positive for the camera here. Not trying to be inauthentic, just we gotta stop having live streams where we're just having pity parties. So, but yeah, I'm actually gonna be back here in just a few minutes. I'm gonna end this stream. I have to do it. I have to do it this way. It kind of stinks, but I have to restart the stream in order to jump on the whole Marvel Rivals bandwagon. So I'm gonna fire this whole thing up again, cross everything over, and and then we'll do some gaming here for about an hour. Tonight I'm just gonna play some comp. I did an open lobby last time. I did another open lobby last time I was inside an evening, and no, we haven't had any takers. So I think tonight I'll just play some games, try to see if we can have some good matches on the stream, and try to call it a night here, and maybe about an hour and a half, get some sleep again. I don't sleep when I'm sleeping outside, so, and who knows when I'll get back inside again after tonight. So yeah, we'll get some streaming in here, and we'll get some rest, and prepare for whatever tomorrow brings us. But I appreciate you spending time with me, Aerodorio, and being active in the chat. It means a lot. It helps a lot to have someone here with me. I'm a creator that needs the chat. I've been spoiled in the sense that that's all I used to be able to read working for that small business, and then also streaming on TikTok. I always had a very busy chat, so adapting to the quiet chat has definitely been a challenge for me. So yeah, it's glad to have you here. I'm really happy to have you here, Dorio. But like I said, I'll be back here in a few minutes. I'm just gonna wrap this up, and then I'll be back up with the new Marvel Rivals stream here in just a little bit, guys. So if you don't pop over here, Dorio, I totally understand. I hope you have a really, really great night. Maybe I'll catch up with you in the next couple of days. We'll see. But yeah, hope you have a good one, and I'll check in with you guys all soon. Take care.
A lot has changed since we last spoke. Life's been good to you, and I see that you're with someone new. Maybe you are better off now that you're with him. But when I see your face, I can't stop myself from spiraling. Now I'm falling down. 'Cause I can focus when you are around. But I will try my best to carry on without you like you've done. Though I'm lost and out of breath, I will carry on without you like you've done. But I'm not over you. I'm not over you. I'm not over you. Yeah, my heart belongs to you. myself to focus when you are around. But I will try my best to carry on without you like you've done. Though I'm lost and out of breath, I will carry on without you like you've done. But I'm not over you. I'm not over you. I'm not over you. Yeah, my heart belongs to you, 'cause I'm not over you. But I will try my best to carry on without you like you've done. Though I'm lost and out of breath, I will carry on